After achieving maximum points in the first two Premier League fixtures, tonight attention switches to the Carabao Cup as the Reds begin their bid to make it to Wembley next March. 4 trophies in the last 16 months, but this is one competition they are yet to taste success in under Jürgen Klopp. Could all of that be about to change this season? More football tonight as Lincoln against Liverpool in the third round from 7:45 tonight. We have audio commentary of all of the action in LFC TV's Matchday live coverage. Well, welcome along to all of you watching on social media around the world. Our midfield pairing for the first time this season, Jason McAteer and Steve McMahon, who joins us on Zoom. Typical Jason, his first question was, who's sitting? Who's the number 8? I think Mac is probably going to win the battle to pick who plays where.
No, I could do both, so it doesn't matter.
I'll tell you what, I'd be first on the team sheet, I know that.
Do you think? What, for the reserves?
What a good start. Opportunity knocks tonight, Jason, for players in very different scenarios, whichever 11 start.
Yeah, I think it's opportunity knocks for both teams, to be honest. I mean, Lincoln will be looking at this as an opportunity, being at home. They know Jürgen Klopp will make wholesale changes. We've got a big game on Monday night against Arsenal. There's lots of fringe players, lots of players that you'd expect might be using this game maybe to get away from the football club, to showcase themselves, or just for fitness, or to even push into the plans for Monday night. As for Lincoln, like I said, it's an opportunity. Michael Appleton will probably think I might be able to go through to a 4th round, more money, which is desperately needed for the clubs in the lower divisions, especially after the news we've had over the last couple of days that no fans are imminent to be returning to grounds across the country. So yeah, finances are one thing that will be looked at in this tie for Lincoln. But as you say, for Liverpool, there's lots of players for lots of different reasons who are needed in the game and going to use it to do what they think.
They're in good form themselves, Lincoln, but let's concentrate on Liverpool for now, Macca, because 2 wins from 2 games. It was a great week last week as well with the Thiago Jota signings and then going to Chelsea and winning as well.
Amazing signings. It reminds me of the years gone by when Liverpool kept in-house potential signings to themselves and only disclosed it when it happened. And that was the same with Thiago and Jota. 2 wonderful signings, experienced players who can only make the team better. And by definition, then the subs get better, the squad gets better, and you've got a much stronger Liverpool team for going into the new season. Battle on all fronts as well. And again, this cup tonight, I really think we should take serious. I really do. It's a trophy. It's a winning habit. You look at Arsenal when they won the FA Cup at the end of the season, and then they've continued in the same vein of form, because confidence, it breeds winning games, winning trophies, breeds confidence. And not that we're short of confidence, but it's still another trophy, and trophies are what Liverpool are all about.
Hungry performance against Chelsea, Jace, which I know people might think that the sending off skews the performance, but Liverpool were in control far before that.
Yeah, I was disappointed with the first half. I think we're all expecting a lot more from Chelsea with the signings that they've made. They were at home. Liverpool, but I think both teams were wasteful the first 45 minutes, and obviously the numerical advantage fell to Liverpool after the Christensen sending off, and Liverpool took control of that. I thought there was a much better, improved performance in the second half. I think you're right, we controlled it a lot more, decision making was a lot better, and then once we got in front, it was all about getting that second one. But then that was a big save, because that would have been a nervy 15 minutes to go if that had gone in. So it was a big save. And plus it was a needed clean sheet, 1 in 7 previous to that. It's something we prided ourselves on over the last few seasons, isn't it? A good foundation of clean sheets to let the lads up front go and score the goals and take the 3 points. So it was much needed for the back 5, but it was a good performance all round in the end and a good 3 points.
Mentioned the midfield at the top of the show there. The Appreciation Society for Thiago is in full swing as well, Mac. A record breaker at the weekend too. How impressed were you by that early sight of him?
No, well, he's a top player, so he doesn't need to prove himself in any way, shape or form. He's already come in. You can see his class. He looks forward. He sprays balls. He can see the opportunities, and with the front 3 that we have, yeah, they're going to get supply. They're going to get balls in behind defenders. He can see a pass. He reads the play so well. Look at that little slide. It's half a no-look pass. That it's something that you do in training. but he's used to doing it, where he's looking one way and all of a sudden plays the other way. And I think he's going to be a magnificent addition. I really do. And it was, oh yeah, because he is anyway. Well, yeah, but you certain players have to fit into a system. And he's one of them that is a perfect addition to Liverpool Football Club.
I think what we've signed as well, you know, Mac is right, he doesn't have to prove himself to anybody. What he's done, his CV stands alone. But it was probably the first time Jürgen Klopp's brought someone in his recruitment policy that's not young, that gets dropped into the team, has to learn the philosophy, has to learn about what it's all about, and then he's taken out the team, they train a bit more and then they throw him back in. It seems to be that's the way it's always happened with all the signings. He's gone in there and absolutely bossed that game. Yeah, it was 10 against 11. He was going to get a lot of possession. He was going to get on the ball quite a bit and make a lot of passes. But he looked like he'd been there forever. And, you know, I'd be surprised now, or it'd be a tough ask to move him out of that midfield. So someone's going to have to give way.
He's probably desperate to play in this one tonight. We'll bring you news on whether he makes that first start in Matchday Live from 6:45. Mark Benstead, our man on the ground in Lincoln tonight, and he joins us now.
Good evening, gentlemen. Welcome to Sincil Bank. Jürgen Klopp has so far made Liverpool champions of England, champions of Europe and champions of the world. But as it stands, he's yet to celebrate any domestic cup success. His quest to change that statistic gets underway here again this evening. They face a side that they haven't played for some time. The last time that Liverpool took on Lincoln City, well, Elvis Presley had 5 number ones that year in the chart. 101 Dalmatians was out at the cinema for the first time, and Skelmersdale became a new town. 1961, the February in fact, was the last meeting between the two sides. You have to actually go back even further, the year before, till they last played here. That day, Roger Hunt scored twice in a 2-1 win. And both those games came back in the second division at the time. That season, Lincoln were relegated, and they've not been back in the second tier of English football since. Recently, of course, they have had a bit of a resurgence. They've had promotions, they've had cup runs, and they come into this game having made a good start to this season. They've won, obviously, in 2 rounds of this competition thus far, and they've won back-to-back games in League One, 6 points out of 6. In terms of Liverpool's approach for tonight, a lot of interest in the side that will line up. We expect changes, of course, the likes of Adrian, Williams, Jones likely to feature at some point. Could we get some debutants as well, though? Billy Kometio has impressed the teenager thus far in pre-season. Could we see him in action for the first time? And, of course, Kostas Tsimikas is another player who might see pull on the Liverpool shirt for the first time as well. And, of course, Diogo Jota. Beyond that, a lot of talk whether Thiago Alcantara will make his first start for the club after impressing off the bench at the weekend against Chelsea. Regardless, though, whether he plays tonight, fans already confident he will make a big impact at the club during his time there. And that's something that's echoed in the Liverpool dressing room as well. Something that's echoed at Melwood. Assistant boss Pep Linders has been explaining to us exactly what the Spanish international can bring to the club during his time at Anfield.
He will make sure that we keep evolving. Teams adapt, teams try to destroy our plans, and what's most important that we stay unpredictable. And unpredictability means that from each position we can play the last pass and we can speed up the game as much as we can. And Thiago does that for us. So he's a great signing, and we didn't bought a problem, we bought a solution. Diogo, what can I say? His technical level is on the same as our front three. He has so much future in his feet, and he will have a great pathway inside our club. And he's like a pressing monster, so he will fit in straight away.
Oh, well, you can see there how in favour of that move Pep Linders was, knows him, of course, from back in his Portugal days as well. He said people in Portugal are so excited that now he's a Liverpool player. I mean, some of the superlatives he's thrown out of there, Jace, on a similar technical level as the front three. So much future in his feet, a pressing monster. He's purpose-built from the sounds of it for us.
Yeah, and you know, I actually really agree with Mac. It was nice to see Liverpool going back to the way they do business, which you never know until it's done. I think Thiago was always on our lips, wasn't it? But I mean, I rang you, didn't I, and went, what have you heard about this one? Because I didn't even see it coming. But yeah, I mean, he's 23, which is, you know, a fantastic age. He's coming to a football club that he's only going to get better at, because no disrespect to Wolves, the players are better. To give him that accolade of being as good as the front three, I think that's like just bumping him up a little bit and sort of massaging his ego. I think he's got a little way to go before he's in that bracket. But you could certainly, he's played enough games. I mean, his probably stats have dropped off slightly since he made the Premier League. His Championship stats, you know, stack up double figures for goals. Quite a few assists in there as well. Premier League, he's found it a little bit tougher, which you probably expect. But he featured highly and he was well respected at Wolves. I think it's a really good move, certainly for the future, and certainly to kind of throw him in when you need him this season. He will play a lot, but maybe not as much as maybe we think Thiago might.
What's that phone call like, Macca, when it comes? You're already at a top-flight club and you learn quite late Liverpool want to sign you. I mean, you just envisage that phone call from his agent to say, guess who wants to sign you?
Well, absolutely. You're ready and you're on your bike. He's probably known for a couple of weeks or so because it all goes on and things have to be put in place. Agents are involved, and his car would have been ready with a couple of suits involved, so he'd go straight to Anfield and have his medical, because that's the way it is. It wasn't public knowledge, and I'm with Jason, and it was the old Liverpool way, and that's what he did. So it was nice to see and refreshing. And everyone was a bit concerned. I was, especially when Chelsea's and Man U's were running for all these players, and Arsenal's were signing players, and we weren't doing any business. But in Klopp, everyone trusts. So we were all in the background saying, well, it's only a matter of when, if and when. And yet Thiago was mentioned quite a few times, but it went quiet. It went cold. And all of a sudden, within a few days, you got two world-class players who will strengthen Liverpool. There's no two ways about it. So the games like tonight will help them settle in. Plus, he can blood a few youngsters. But at the end of this game, and obviously it's a win situation, we'll win the game. I've got no doubt about that. But then you've got Arsenal. So Arsenal will be there waiting, and it's interesting to see what side we will put out against Arsenal, because I believe we should now be going and challenging on all fronts, not just one or two trophies. Let's try and win 3 trophies.
Just going back to that transfer policy, Macca, that you were talking about there, I think it's important, ever more so now with the financial crisis we're all in, that you do actually keep your cards close to your chest and you don't let other teams sort of know who you're after and who's out there and what kind of money's to be spent, because you know these are top players, and if it had got out there, you could see Manchester United trying to nick them for an extra 2 or 3 million, because no one's spending 70, 80 million now. So it's important you get the right ones at the right price, isn't it?
Macca, we're going to have to cut in there because we'll be back to your piano lounge a little bit later at 6:45 when we continue to build up to this game. So we'll let you get the kettle on.
I'm just going to get cognac sorted out for you. Hold on.
That is it from Steve, Jason and myself for the moment. Plenty more build-up is on the way across all of the LFC platforms ahead of tonight's 7:45 kickoff. We will be back with Matchday live from 6:45 on LFC TV and LFC TV Go. Details of how to subscribe if you haven't already can be found on the official website. Hope to see you then. From all of us here, bye for now.